men, 20 men, 30 men. I'm on something. 10 men, 20 men, 30 men. That do what's up. 10 men, 20 men, 30 men. Yeah, drink 'em up. Yeah.
We rolling? You know what it is, man. DJ Thoro, a.k.a. Thorozano, Bridge to the Streets. Right now, you're watching the hottest in the streets right here on thisis50.com. We live from One World Studios. Shout out my man, Boy Wonder. You know how we do. Got a special, lovely, talented guest in the building. Introduce yourself.
My name is Jen. I'm from Los Angeles, California, from the Southeast.
L.A., California, L.A. You know that record? You know that? It's a dope record. Continue.
Yeah, and I just released an album called Jen, self-titled. It was released on March 5th, and this is my second album. My first album is called Spiritual Bars.
Spiritual Bars.
Yes.
Wow. Now let me. I gotta challenge myself on this question I want to ask. Woo! Hold up. Let me just think for a second. Why can't I even think of one right now? I'm bugging. I'm gonna ask the question. Maybe you know. Name me one famous female MC or artist that came out of LA.
Yo-Yo.
Ah, look at that. I couldn't even think. You're dope. Because my mind was racing a lot. I know there was one. Damn, Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo's dope. That was actually good because literally I had a brain freeze. I couldn't think for a minute. So I figured you would know. You know what I mean? Good job. Good job. All right, so you're coming out of L.A. Predominantly, like when I grew up, there used to be this thing called a sound where every coast had a sound. In my opinion, that don't exist anymore because now I'll take Roddy Ricch, for instance. I didn't know he was from Compton. He sounds like he's from Atlanta to me. You know what I mean? So, no disrespect to him.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, there's no more distinguishing sounds of artists anymore based on where they're from. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I said I'd like to say this. What do you do to stand out instead of fit in?
Ooh, that's a good question. Just be myself.
Okay.
Really. For example, for my projects, I picked all the beats.
Okay.
I make all the connections with the producers. I pick the beats. I come up with the ideas of how I want it to sound, and I put it together. And I also do some co-production as well. So I have a friend of mine who does production, and I tell him, hey, flip this, do it like this, and he'll do it, and he'll whip it out. So for me, it's more about just keeping it real,
right,
but also keeping it modern too.
Right.
Like you had just mentioned about Roddy Ricch. You know, now it's like a kind of more of a modern, universal sound. Because I didn't know he was from Compton either, for example.
Yeah, he's from Compton.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, that's not when you think of Cali. Like I said, just the way I grew up on hip hop, Cali had a certain sound. Even the records they would use to sample were more like Funkadelic Parliament, Roger Troutman. It was more of a funk 70s Ohio Players.
Yes.
The loud hand clap snares. It was because I'm a producer too, so I know music. But that's kind of the sound. That was like a West Coast sound. You know, even though a lot of those groups were from the East Coast, like George Clinton is from Jersey. A lot of people may not know that. You know, obviously Ohio Players are from Ohio, but for whatever reason, that funk sound resonated more on the West Coast. And I just think, personally, I think after the Death Row, Snoop Dogg era, NWA era, that's when the universal sound is cool, but it gets boring after a point because now everybody has everybody sounds the same. So I'm a music lover, so for me, I don't want to like. I'm always like, what do I need to listen to you for? If you sound like 100 other people, I'll just listen to this. Like when I used to want to hear music, if I want to hear some down south shit, like even Two Live Crew, I used to listen to Two Live Crew, Miami bass, like it's 100 BPM per minute.
Yeah.
They're talking about a certain shit. That's Miami culture. I get it. Even down south, they had this DJ Screw. They listen to the music slow. So
Houston.
if I want to hear that, I'll go to Houston. Obviously, New York, boom bap, whatever. West Coast, the low riders, the funk. You had a variety. That's not here anymore. Like, and me personally, I get irritated with that. You know what I mean? So that's my rant for the day. You know what I mean? I just wish artists would make more music that relates to where they're actually from instead of trying to do a universal sound. Just be yourself. Because to me, when you're trying purposely to do a universal sound, that's not reflective of your environment and where you come from. So if somebody's in Alabama talking about taking a 2 train in Harlem, where you do that at? You in Alabama. You're not from here. And somebody from here talking about even like this. It's like even the language is universal now. It's like everybody uses the word cat, which means you're lying. You know what I mean? before there was different. Every city, every era had their own lingo. The lingo's the same now. It's like you don't even know where nobody's from no more, man. It's like I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it is what it is. You know, it's up to the person if they want to get caught up and start saying that. So, for example, like cat or just whatever. Right. It just really depends on the person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, because I remember like in my day they should call on the West Coast they should call the police one time. Over here we call them Jakes. You see how this?
Ah, okay, yeah.
You see how we call it. That's not our lingo. That's Cali shit. One time we called them Jakes. Now it's 12. Everybody's the same shit. I mean, I don't know. But enough of that. So you're in the city right now. Let's talk about your music. What do we have out? What are we promoting?
Okay, so we're promoting the Jin album, self-titled after my name, Jin. It's 8 tracks, no features.
Okay.
Okay, once again, no features, 8 tracks, all me. So
that's a song. All me, no features.
Mm-hmm.
It's a title. Okay.
For reals. So yeah, I personally think it's a solid album. I mean, personally, 80% of the album I recorded. I have my own setup back in LA.
Okay.
So basically, I record, I send the files to the engineer, and then there you go. So yeah.
Oh, so you record yourself?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
I use Logic.
Logic?
Mhm.
Okay. That's smart. So you were saying when you were growing up in LA, you listened to all types of music. And what was the first hip hop record? Do you remember the first time you heard hip hop?
I did, and it's actually a Miami-based song. Actually.
Okay. What song was that?
Give It All You Got.
Give It All You Got. Give It All You Got. That's from. I thought it's from Afro. Damn.
Yeah.
Afro.
Afro-Rican.
Afro-Rican. Yep. Damn. You know hip hop.
Wow.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Now you know.
I knew it. So I said Afro. Yeah. I definitely Afro-Rican. Give It All You Got. Give It All You got. Give it, yeah, that was like a bass record, right? I remember that record. A lot of people don't know that. See, that would be, I guarantee you, a lot of people from up north, they don't know that record because that was strictly a down south, West Coast. That's my point. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
That was reflective of where you were from. That was what it was. It was Afro-Rican and Miami bass was prevalent in LA and in Miami. It never really got up here like that. Not too many people even know that record. They probably have no idea what you're talking about. I'm telling you, but that's what I mean by there was a sound. There should be a certain sound, and you were exposed to your, what was relative, what was going on at that time or whatever. So that's dope that you brought that up. That's a rare record too. It was a record with no lyrics to it. It was just a beat and statements. Give it all you got. Give it all you got. That's pretty much all it was. Get up on this. Get up. It was like a cut. It was almost like a DJ cutting record. It was really not there was no lyrics to it. Like there wasn't an actual, it was a couple lyrics here and there, but it wasn't really like a song about anything really. It was just like give it all you got or whatever. So that's what that is. So, and do you remember what that made you feel like? Like that's what made you want to get into music?
Yeah, I felt it in my heart. I was like, whatever this is, I love it. Right. And I was following hip hop ever since. So then after that, I started again. I listened to Tupac. The first single I had from Tupac was "Holler If You Hear Me."
Holler If You Hear Me.
And they were promoting that at the mall. And I have an older sister, and she just threw the tape at me. She's like, "Here, I know you like hip hop. Here, you can have this." I'm like, "Oh, Tupac," So yeah, and that was what? And was that 90 or 91? I don't know. One of those years.
90s, 91. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so I was a straight Tupac fan from the beginning. NWA, Ice Cube.
Makes perfect sense. You were right there.
Ice Cube. Yeah, great writer, very smart. So yeah, I grew up on the whole West Coast sound, and as I got a little bit older, I started going to the East Coast. So you know what I mean, like Biggie, Mobb Deep, all of that. I love Prodigy, rest in peace.
Right.
Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace.
Right.
I love it. Yeah, and so I love it so much. Why don't I just do it? So I came to a point in my life where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this now. I'm gonna jump in for reals.
Okay. Now let's talk about your single off your new project called Hallelujah, correct?
Yes, right. Hallelujah.
Okay, Hallelujah. Why that title? Obviously it's self-explanatory to an extent, but break it down for us. Yeah,
definitely. So today's Easter Sunday, and I released a song called Hallelujah off my self-titled project, Jin. And Hallelujah was basically an inspiration of basically what I was going through, and don't let them fool you. Hallelujah, the Lion like Judah. And I'm just being real.
Some bars there, okay.
I'm just being real. I'm just like I said. I'm just being the messenger. You know what I mean? I'm passing it on, and just giving knowledge, and just be careful. Sometimes people put faith in men, and you really should be putting the faith in God and in yourself.
Wow. Okay. Now that you mentioned the Tupac part, I heard the record, and there's definitely a Tupac influence with the way your cadence with the record. You're like hallelujah. It's like a Tupac. It's like flow right there. And as soon as I heard that, before you even told me anything about you liking Tupac, I said what? I heard some Tupac in there, so I can see the influence how listening to Tupac translated into paying homage to that style of flow or whatever. Because everyone knows Tupac had a flow. He had an identity, and that's what I mean. A lot of artists have no identity. Like you can rap a certain way, you'll be like, oh, that's Tupac. Oh, that's Snoop. Once again, I have to go back to this new generation of record makers. You can say something and you'll be like, oh, that's that person, that's this person, it's the same shit. Nobody has an identity. So that's what I mean. You should, not saying you don't have, but as an artist, you should always practice having an identity. You shouldn't want to sound like anybody else.
Exactly.
You should think like, let me think of something that everybody's gonna copy. Let me do that. Instead of everybody's copying that's great. Let me try to do something else that nobody's doing, that's still dope and still can coexist, that everybody wants to try to copy. A lot of people don't make music for people to copy them. They copy music that's already been copied, done. You know what I mean? So that's just a word of advice from me to you when you're making music. You should always try to be original.
And I really appreciate you saying that. And as an artist, it does get hard. Like sometimes, it's like these last 2 projects, I've been doing it for myself. Right. Basically, I'm making music for myself. You like it, great. You don't, okay, that's cool too. But I'm making music for myself, and now I'm at a point where it's like, that beat, that sound. It was like maybe I should try going that way. So it gets tough. And I have some trap on my album. Okay. I do trap, but it's conscious trap.
Conscious trap. Okay.
It's positive. Right. For reals. You gotta check it out.
I get it. So conscious trap.
It is. Yeah. So it's just being original.
I want to hear that.
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
You should. It's called Paper Route, by the way.
Trapping at the church. Something like that. All right.
Yeah.
Preacher and the Trap Man. Titles like that. That'd be a dope title. Preacher and the Trap Man. Word. Okay.
Being original.
So where can people hear this project? Is it on all streaming platforms?
Yes. It's on all streaming platforms. Jin, Spotify, Apple Music, all that. I also have a Bandcamp, therealjin.bandcamp.com. Okay. And yeah, it's on all the platforms.
Right. Now, if anybody want to get in contact with you, how can they do that?
My Instagram is BeFreeJin. My Facebook and YouTube is The Real Jin. And my Twitter is ginger_GS. And out of those social media platforms, I use my Instagram the most, which is BeFreeJin.
Right. Okay. Now, even though you're a guest here, you're from LA, you can't get off the hook that easy. You just can't. I can't allow that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be who I am if I did that. I couldn't sleep at night. So with that being said, I have a segment on this show, right? It's called On the Spot. You know what that means?
Dropping bars.
Oh, so you know what's up. So yeah, we need to hear something, So like I said, it's no pressure. You can do one of your songs. Yeah. Maybe a go-to rhyme you like to say. Or if some people like to freestyle off the top of their head. Not saying you have to do that, but if you want to, you're more than welcome. The bottom line is, I just need you to look into the camera. Okay. Like this. You know what I mean? Look into the camera. You know what I mean? Look into the camera. Let them know your name.
Yeah, Jen.
And just impress the hell out of them. That's it. Do what you do.
Okay.
LA's watching, man. Tony G's watching.
Word.
Kid Frost is watching.
Okay, all right. I do what I can and try to keep a level head, but this music leaves me left for dead in a mental sense. I guess it's shot in dark in retrospect, but my faith in God's got my message flowing effortless. This the Almighty, the type of gold pipe is streaming out the wordplay and alchemy that shows nightly. Jin, analyzing soul slightly and trust that it work out nicely. In a world with corporate agenda, forces the pressure course through the center, busted through the doors of investors. To sign Takashi, whoever the fuck with skeletons in the closet, no better than us. So all we got left is our name. I'm the Molly Boomer rap, controlling the game, wordplay phenomenon, poking at fame. So don't test me, cause I stay roasting these lames.
Okay, nice.
Thanks.
Okay, so before we get out of here, is there anything else you want to cover or share that we didn't speak on?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, I want to give a shout out to you, DJ Thoro.
Thank you
for coming out here on an Easter Sunday and doing this.
You know, I had to put on a little Easter outfit. You know what I mean? Something like that. It's all good.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. So thanks. Shout out to you for doing your thing.
Thank you.
And shout out to DJ Boy Wonder. Shout out to This Is 50. Shout out to everyone who's tuned in. And make sure you check out the Project Gin on all streaming platforms. And also check out my first project, Spiritual Bars, as well. I have merchandise, the Real Gin.
But she didn't bring me any, but go ahead.
TheRealGin.dreadless.com. I also have merch, t-shirts, CDs.
But she didn't bring me any, by the way. Did I mention that? Oh, okay, go ahead.
And I also have soap, too. I do handcrafted soap, so I have Spiritual Bars of soap.
I do take baths, and yet she didn't bring any for me. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so, basically, just doing my thing. And just one of the things I do want to mention is how I started into this music industry. I was a promoter in the beginning. I was a street promoter, so I was the person out back in the days handing out flyers, doing my thing, and then I became a booking agent, and I started booking other artists. You know what I mean? So I work with Crooked Eye, I work with Chino XL, I work with Onyx back home. I started my booking agency, and then from there, I became an artist, and I started doing music myself. And it was something always on the back of my head, and I wasn't sure yet, you know what I mean? And there were certain things that came across in my life where I went back to the art, where I went back to the music, and I started writing, started putting it together, connecting with my peoples, and there you go, you have the projects. And all I have to say is that whatever you love, do what you love and keep going. And and I'm really thankful that I'm at where I'm at now. I was able to tour internationally. I was able to tour in South Africa and also out in Dubai. So I'm just very thankful. I want to make sure I say that because I come from a really good background, and that's really helped me to get where I'm at.
Now, my last question to you is, in LA, who got the best burgers, In-N-Out or McDonald's?
Hell no. That's okay. Now let me ask you this: have you ever tried a Whataburger?
Yeah, I like In-N-Out. Though.
Okay. In-N-Out is the best for me because I'm biased because I'm from California.
Right.
But if you're out of California and you're on the Southwest or on the South, I would go with the Whataburger.
All right, there it is. Jen said Whataburger. I say In-N-Out. Either way, just eat a burger. That's what it is, man. DJ Thoro Jen. This is 50.com. And like always, when you see us, one knee us. That means pay respects. We out.
10 men, 20 men.